Picture this. You're about to sign a massive contract with a brand new business partner. Or maybe you're on a mission to finally track down that great-great-grandfather to finish your family tree. How do you know for sure who you're actually dealing with? Or where your ancestors truly came from? Well, the answers are usually locked away in official court records. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to walk step by step through exactly how to search Benton and Washington County court records online and do it entirely for free. Really, all you need is a computer and an internet connection. But wait, before we even think about typing a single word into a search bar, there is a massive geographic trap that catches so many first-time searchers. And we absolutely have to clear it up right now. Seriously, before we go any further, we have to navigate this wild jurisdictional quirk. Because of 19th century territorial expansion and, a somewhat hilarious habit of naming new places after the exact same prominent historical figures, there are adjacent Benton and Washington counties in northwest Arkansas. But there are also adjacent Benton and Washington counties all the way over in Oregon. If you don't know this going in, you'll waste hours wandering around the entirely wrong database. So just to be crystal clear, for our focus today, we are zeroing in strictly on the Arkansas counties. All right, here's our game plan for this explainer. 1. The dual state quirk and history. 2. Why search court records. 3. Using search AR courts. 4. Decoding and limits. 5. Historical archives. And 6. Rules and takeaways. Let's start right off with Section 1, the dual state quirk and history. If you're doing any kind of historical or genealogical research, this background is absolutely vital. Think about it like this. Back in 1829, a guy named Sheriff Lewis Evans conducted a census for this huge area in northwest Arkansas known as Lovely County. By 1835, that same area was part of Washington County, which had a booming population of over 6,000 people. It wasn't until 1836, when Arkansas officially became a state, that Benton County actually split off from Washington County to become its own thing. So the takeaway here is kind of mind-blowing. If you're tracking a family from the early 1800s, you might actually need to search records in both current Arkansas counties just to trace a single family line that never even moved. The county lines literally shifted right around them. Just to lock this in and keep the two states straight, in Arkansas, these adjacent counties are part of the Fayetteville-Springdale-Rogers metro area, and their specific online portal is called Search AR Courts. Meanwhile, those Oregon counties are distinct administrative units over near Portland, and they use OregonCourts.us. We're staying strictly in the Arkansas lane today. Moving right along to Section 2, Why Search Court Records? What are we actually looking at here? By definition, court records are the official documents preserved by court clerks in connection with local proceedings. In Arkansas, these are made accessible under the Arkansas Freedom of Information Act, and this is a huge deal. Making these records publicly accessible ensures that justice is open and visible to everyone. It's the literal backbone of governmental accountability and true civic transparency. So why should you care? How does this actually apply to your life? Well, maybe you're a landlord and you need to vet a potential tenant. Or maybe you're doing a personal background check before hiring a contractor to work on your house. You could be reviewing civil lawsuits, property liens, or financial judgments. Journalists use these exact same records to follow high-profile criminal trials, and lawyers use them to understand legal precedents. Whether you're doing it for personal safety, genealogy, or professional research, having access to this data is a real game changer. Okay, let's get our hands dirty. Section 3, Using Search AR Courts Online. The magic tool you need is called Search AR Courts, though you might occasionally hear old-timers refer to it by its legacy name, Court Connect. This is Arkansas's official public portal, and honestly, the absolute best part? It lets you run completely anonymous searches without paying a single registration fee or usage charge. No paywalls here. It taps directly into the contextual case management system, which is used by all Arkansas circuit courts and some district courts. Let's walk through exactly how you use it. Step 1, you just choose whether you're searching by a participant's name or a specific case number. Step 2, let's say we're looking up a civil dispute involving a John Doe. You type his name into the participant search, and if you have his date of birth, definitely plug that in to narrow things down. Step 3, and do not skip this. Use the filters. Filter specifically by Benton or Washington County, so you aren't pulling up every single John Doe in the entire state of Arkansas. Hit search and just let the system do the heavy lifting for you. All right, you hit search. Now what? Let's jump into Section 4, Decoding Your Search Results. You're probably going to be greeted by a massive wall of text, but here's how to make sense of it. On a standard, publicly accessible case file, you're going to see a few key things. You'll see the names of the litigating parties, the plaintiff and defendant and their attorneys. You'll get the case status, the filing date, and the assigned judge. But the real gold mine here, that's the register of action. It's essentially a chronological docket sheet of every single motion and order filed in the case. Finally, you'll see the final court disposition, which just means whether the case was dismissed, settled, or if someone was found guilty. Now, hold on. We do need to manage expectations a bit here. Not every single thing is public. Arkansas Administrative Order Number 19 strictly protects certain sensitive information. While you can easily pull up civil lawsuits, criminal charges, and traffic tickets, the system will completely block you from seeing confidential records. We're talking expunged or sealed files, juvenile delinquency cases, unredacted Social Security numbers, and internal notes made by the judges. If a record falls under one of these protected categories, you are simply not going to find it online. But what if the case you want just isn't showing up at all? That brings us to Section 5, Historical Archives and Alternatives. See, the digital trail literally hits a brick wall at the year 1991. The online search Our Courts portal is fantastic, don't get me wrong, but most of the case files digitized on there only go back to 1991. If your search involves anything older than that, the internet is simply not going to help you out. So for those pre-1991 cases, it's time to go old school. You're going to have to contact the physical Benton County Archives or the Washington County Archives, which are located in Fayetteville. The court clerks there are the official custodians of these older records. You can visit them in person, give them a call, or even submit written requests. If you're doing exhaustive due diligence, especially for that 1800s or early 1900s history, these physical archives are essentially your secret skeleton key to the past. All right, let's wrap this whole thing up with Section 6, Rules, Limits, and Takeaways. Just a quick but super important reminder. The information we've covered in this explainer is strictly for educational purposes. Whenever you're accessing public records, especially if you're doing background checks, you absolutely must respect privacy laws and use the information responsibly. Also, keep in mind that these online searches provide a curated subset of data. They're amazing, yes, but they aren't everything. If you're making major legal or business decisions based on this, exhaustive due diligence usually means you still need to pick up the phone or walk into the courthouse to speak with the physical clerks directly. So here's the bottom line. You literally have the keys to transparency, accountability, and history sitting right there at your fingertips, and it doesn't cost a dime. Whether you're vetting a new business contact or discovering exactly where your ancestors were putting down roots before Arkansas even became a state, the tools are waiting for you right now on Search Our Courts. So what piece of local history or hidden truth will you uncover in the records today? Go ahead, open up that browser, and start your search.